Hey guys, hope you're doing amazing. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 318. Hope you guys had a wonderful day today and I'm exhausted. I don't know if you can tell, but man, I'm tired today. Golly, it's been a crazy few days and I'm so thankful, but I am sleepy. I'm so sleepy. I was sitting there filling out some paperwork and doing a bunch of stuff and I was just like, man, I'm ready to go to bed. I got to get this video done. So we are on day 12 of Rhonda Byrne's Countdown to Riches, 21 Days of Wealth Attracting Habits. And today's whatever you call it, activity is the money vision board. And have you guys ever done a vision board? I'm sure a lot of us have. I did one back in 2007 when I was married and I was way younger, about 20 years younger. And I put a bunch of stuff on there. And I did end up getting a lot of the stuff that was on there, including the house that I put on there is very similar to the house I'm living in right now. So it was super strange how everything I put on there, I just visualized living in it, driving it, having it, being with it, whatever it was that was on there. And a lot of it came true. So, and there was a guy on The Secret. I remember, what was his name? Was it John Assaraf or Assaraf? I can't remember his last name, how you say it, but he had put a house on his vision board. He made a bunch of different vision boards. And one time his son was like looking through one of the boxes. I think they had moved or something into this house, and his son was like, "What is this, Daddy?" And he was like, "Oh, that's my vision board." And he's like, "What's a vision board?" And he kind of told him about it. And then he realized the house that was on his vision board was the exact same house he was living in. And I just thought that was so amazing. So life is magical. In other words, remember your life is so magical and things just happen out of nowhere seemingly. Esther Hicks would say it's not out of the blue, it's out of the oblivious. And we're oblivious to everything. The human brain only sees and processes about less than 1% of what is actually going on around us right now. If you can fathom that, it is crazy to think that. So everything you see is just, movable and shapeable into anything we want to do. It's moldable. Life is magical and you are magical too. So you have to start thinking like that instead of the stinking thinking that we always have going on in our minds sometimes. It's just not fun. And so we got to change that, don't we, in order to create what we're wanting. But we're not actually creating it. That's the cool thing about this. We're actually just allowing and we're receiving. We're in the receiving mode. We don't need to create. It's already created. You have a thought, it's created. You have a desire, it's created. We just have to allow that frequency. We have to be on the wavelength of that, whatever it is that you're wanting. So this is part of what we're doing in these videos is we're shifting our frequency and hopefully feeling a little bit better than you felt maybe before you watched this video. Or maybe we're adding to your frequency, helping each day to maintain the frequency. But of course, these videos are not that long. And I tell my clients in an hour, if we have an hour together, it's like, you got a bunch of other hours in the week. So we have to practice maintaining these frequencies. That's our job. Our only job is to feel good. So we have to practice feeling good because feeling good is not just handed to us. We've got to practice it every day. So today is the money vision board. And the quote today is, "Visualizing is the great secret of success." And Genevieve Berend said this, and she wrote Your Invisible Power, which is one of my favorite little books. Check that one out. I believe it's free. I think you can download it on the Googles. So we're going to start reading just a little bit of this. Won't read the whole thing, but she says, "If you realize the infinite power you have to be, do, or have anything you want, you would never be worried about money again." I'm going to read that again. If you realized the infinite power you have to be, do, or have anything you want, you would never be worried about money again. Really take that in. You have complete dominion over your world, but you have to realize that for yourself. Complete dominion over your world. To realize your infinite power and become master over your money, you must first become the master of your own thoughts. And this is what I teach all my clients. We have to master our thoughts because those thoughts are just coming in and coming in and coming in. So we have to master them. We have to say, and first is self-awareness. We have to be aware, what are the thoughts I'm thinking over and over? And why do I even have these thoughts? And where did these beliefs come from that were implanted into me that maybe I don't even believe anymore? Or maybe I don't even need to think this thought anymore. That's what I do, is if I have a thought that comes up and I don't like it, I'm like, why am I even thinking that when I could choose to think a billion, infinite amounts of other thoughts? Why am I thinking that thought? And then you just change it in the moment. You just become aware of it and notice and see how it makes you feel. You feel the emotion, you let it go through your body instead of suppressing it, and which is suppressing who you're being when you're not feeling. It's suppressing you. And then that makes us feel doubly worse, you know? So it's just practicing mastering your thoughts, telling your brain what to think because it doesn't know what's true or not true. So you might just want to tell it anything you want because it's going to be like, oh, yep, that's true. And it's just going to perpetuate those thoughts over and over. So the first step towards mastery of your thoughts requires you to constantly direct your thoughts towards the positive when thinking about money. Today we're going to direct the phenomenal power of your positive thoughts by using pictures of money on a money vision board. Remember that pictures are an especially powerful way to direct your thoughts because pictures and symbols are the language of the subconscious mind. And so every time you see pictures of money and wealth, they're implanted into your subconscious, the home of your beliefs. When we remove beliefs of lack, money can pour in from everywhere. So I remember Esther Hicks talking about the only thing we need to do is get out of our own way. And she said, if the only thing you do is to let go of negative thoughts, then you're on the wavelength of everything. So it's having a desire and not doubting it. And it truly is as simple as that. But during the day, we have so many distractions and triggers. So distractions might be okay sometimes, but it depends on how that distraction makes us feel. If we get distracted and we get frustrated, well, then we're on the frustrated, in the frustrated state. So we have to watch what state am I in right now? And that requires noticing, how am I feeling? And where do these thoughts come from? Because there are triggers and distractions. But if we just eliminated, which sounds so easy, right? If we eliminate the self-doubt and the beliefs of lack, but this takes practice. And so again, these videos daily are just a reminder. There is so much content on my channel now, it's insane. So it's like, there's just so much. And eventually I'll create more streamlined, more curated, specific series of things that people can go to. Like if you're interested in SP stuff, it's coming, I promise. I just want to do certain things right now and not put too much pressure on myself. And I never want to put pressure on myself, actually. That's the goal. So that's why I just wanted to do a daily video as a kind of a reminder that anybody that comes in and has never seen me before can just look at one video and be like, oh, okay, there's a reminder. Maybe there's a little tool that I can give you in it that you can go and try out. So that's the goal with the videos, but I will get more streamlined. And I know I've had SP videos that have been asked about, and I'm so into relationships and helping people build the relationship with themselves first, because that's most important. And then I love to teach people how to treat their partner and how to treat themselves, of course, better than they are. So eventually I'll get into things like that. But right now there's something that pulled me towards this book. So that's why I just started reading out of this book. So I'll get there. But all we have to do is remove the beliefs of lack. That's all we have to do. And so just keep that in your mind. Like, I just need to get out of my own way. I need to stop thinking these old thoughts of scarcity and lack and start thinking about what would it feel like if I were wealthy? What would that feel like? And just start there. What would it feel like if I had just unlimited abundance? What would that feel like? Why do I want unlimited abundance? Why? We made that list, I think, on day one about the things that you would buy. But I want you to go back to that list and like really feel what it would feel like to have those things. And maybe the why behind it. Like, why do I want that thing? All of these little practices will add up someday, I promise. If you're still not feeling so good, if you're like brand new here and you don't know who I am, I promise you, keep watching because there's so many things I'm going to do in the future that will help you feel so much better and so great. My goal is to have everybody feel amazing about themselves and amazing about their lives, no matter what is going on, because we all have something that's going to be going on. And so I want to help people learn how to navigate all that and feel good no matter what's going on externally. So there's my tangent as usual. So back to the money. You can choose any area in your home for your money vision board as long as it's a place where you will see it often. You could even use your fridge. To create your money vision board, collect or print pictures that represent money, such as piles of coins, stacks of bills, dollar symbols, or the symbol that represents your currency, pictures of gold and silver, and anything else that represents wealth to you, like your dream car, dream home, etc. The board should be dripping with images of money and wealth. And that is what I did back in 2007. I put this house on there. And again, the house I'm living in now was built in 2007, if you can believe that. And it was only a couple miles away from where I was living at the time when I was, completely brand new, married. We weren't even married yet back then. We got married in 2008 and divorced in 2014. So, but we were just together and, little kids hoping to make it big someday. And so it's so interesting how this house was built the year that I made the money vision board. Crazy, just crazy. And I used to look at the house every day, and it's just crazy how things happen. But I knew I would have certain things in my life. There are certain things that I don't have, though, that I'm recognizing. And this is another tangent. But sometimes we think we want certain things, but our higher self is like, nope, this is better for you. We're going to kind of guide you in this direction. Because sometimes we think we want something and we don't actually want it as badly as we thought. Or maybe we don't need that. Maybe we need something else before we get that thing. Or maybe we don't get that thing at all because we really technically didn't really want it. We just thought we did. So that's another question for you to get a little deeper into yourself. Ask yourself, do I really want this thing? Because sometimes you may not want it. And I've been through that too, and I've realized I'm like, wow, that's interesting because I thought I wanted this my whole life, and then, wow, life is so much easier without this thing. So your higher self knows what you really want. So the goal with a vision board and the goal with visualizing in general is just to get you in an excited state. So you're going to do anything you want on this. You can choose money, like $100 bills to put on there. I wrote a check to myself for $10 million, I think it was, because Jim Carrey had done that back then, like maybe in the 90s or something. And so I wrote myself a check for 10 million and I put it on the vision board. I have not gotten 10 million yet, of course, yet. Notice I said the word yet. So you do things like that just to be able to look at it and get excited. And it's a reminder like, hey, these are my goals right here. And it kind of reminds you, just like these videos, we're just reminding and repeating things. So the brain can remember that, oh yeah, this is what I'm wanting and desiring. So this is who I'm becoming. So it gives a visual. And I think we're visual people. In general, we've got to see something and the subconscious mind will grab a hold of that. It will remember and associate your board with certain actions, possibly certain affirmations. I recommend you look at your board and you just say affirmations to yourself. Like, I am wealthy. That's my house right there. That's my car right there. Whatever it is that's on there, that's material. And I would suggest putting health on there, of course, because health is wealth. Without your health, you're not okay. If you have all the money in the world, you can, buy treatments or whatever, but money can't help you if you don't have your health very much, So your body can heal itself. We have infinite intelligence inside of our bodies, so we can heal ourselves. So I would recommend putting health on there, pain-free, anything that you got going on, put it on your board. Words, pictures, whatever it is. And look at it frequently, she says. The more you expose your subconscious mind to images of wealth and prosperity, the faster your subconscious mind will believe that you are wealthy. In The Secret Movie and Book, John Assaraf, there it is, tells the amazing story of how he ended up buying the exact house he had a picture of on his vision board from 5 years earlier. It wasn't until he found his old vision board in a storage box that he realized he had bought his dream home without even knowing it. That's how incredibly powerful this practice is. So Again, just a reminder, it's to get your subconscious mind programmed with certain thoughts, because you're thinking all day long. And we have to remember that, like, unless you're going to shut your brain down during meditation, which you can shut that down, which we'll get into that later too. But you can slow your brain waves down. And that's where we really want to get to eventually. But you're thinking thoughts all day long. So if you start programming in different thoughts, you're going to start thinking on that wavelength. And it's going to change your whole frequency of your electromagnetic field outside of your body. And so that's what we want to do. We want to get on the wavelength of prosperity and the wavelength of abundance and wealth and whatever that looks like to you. Not everybody wants to be a millionaire. Not everybody wants to own $1 million home or a luxury car or whatever. And I get that. But the more money we have, the more we can help others with that money. That's how I think of it. I'm like, man, I want to make as much as possible so that I can become debt-free and buy whatever I want to buy, and then help other friends, family, pay off their houses or pay off their cars. Or I want to be able to do big things like that, and then start a charity or whatever. And I know that, a lot of people say that, but I would totally love to do that. Totally love to just bless people. That's what I really want to do. And I can't bless people with financial, abundance if I don't have it. So I can bless people with time and energy and love, but I'd like to do financial as well, because I know that that is lacking right now in a lot of lives. And I see people that have that as well. And I also, like I said, I want to become debt-free too. So I have all these goals and aspirations, and I'll take you guys with me throughout this time, because I'm just changing every day. My identity is shifting every day. I think your all's is as well, I'm sure. So, and thank you for sharing your wins. Man, it's so cool. The synchronicities are amazing. There are so many of them. Today I got a text too from a doctor's office that I had paid some copay or something to. And it said, you have a refund of $5. And I was like, oh my God, that is so funny. So there's just like all these kinds of weird things coming through. It's so weird. It's weird. We're just going to call it weird, but it's actually natural and normal. And I call it magical too. So just synchronicities. Everything is abundant out there for us. It's ready to show itself and reveal itself to us. So we just have to align, do everything with the intention of being aligned. And I'll let you go. I could talk and talk and talk, but I'm going to go to bed soon after I upload. So I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing day tomorrow. Create your vision board if you'd like to try that. A lot of people do like Pinterest boards, or they actually physically create one. I like to physically create one. I haven't done that in a long time, but I think those are super cool. And somebody had like a way to do it on like the background of their phone, so they could just, or on the wallpaper, so they could just look at their phone and it's all right there. However you want to do it, have fun with it and look at it every day and just enjoy looking at the photos and the words, whatever you got on there, and just change your state. That's the whole goal, is to change your state. And then during your day, you're going to remember, oh, that house is so beautiful on there. Oh, that car is so beautiful. Health would feel so good. Being pain-free would be so amazing. Being mentally happy all the time, being mentally well would be so great. So you just start to train yourself to think on that wavelength versus the way that you're always thinking. So that doesn't feel so good maybe. So anyway, please remember that you are so loved. Pass that on to anybody who needs to hear it. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to. I'd love to have you throughout this whole experience. And please share this with somebody who might need this information or like to hear this. And remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.